Well, looks like we have now gotten access to the new update, Seek and Destroy dev server. Now in this video we're going to be doing a quick overview of all the ground changes, including damage model and maps and stuff, because they have actually changed some stuff over there. But of course, first we're going to take a look at the vehicles. Here we have the XM800T. This is a American light tank at 7.7. It's got 285 horsepower and it's located right after the T92 here in the American tech tree, right before the Sheridan. Now this thing here, 7.7, yeah, I don't know. I think it's really tough. It doesn't really have a lot of pen. It's definitely very fast. I mean, it has a very strong engine, or it doesn't really have a strong engine, but it's extremely light, so it doesn't really matter. And it also goes decently fast in forwards and reverse, so it's definitely one of those rat tanks. Although it can't really be that much of a rat, because, you know, even if you do show up beside somebody, you can't really do much damage to them. So yeah, you're definitely more of a backline scouter when it comes to that. Now, Germany, this update so far only gets access to the Leopard 2A4M can for ground vehicles. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty cool vehicle, I find, mostly because I'm also from Canada, so you know, a bit of hometown. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't even know what I was gonna say. Basically, I'm from Canada and so is this, so yeah, it's a pretty cool thing to see. Unfortunately, right now, the armor isn't fully modeled yet, so it's no real point of test driving it because, well, first of all, I can't, and second of all, it's not done yet. So on the live server, we'll have to see how it fares. It's probably something similar to the Leopard 2P, though, since these are both at 11.3. They both have very strong shells. This thing here gets access to KEW just like the M1A1 AIM. So those two tanks are fairly comparable. It only just fires a bit slower and maybe has a slightly better armor layout. Doesn't look like it has any spoilers though, so you're definitely gonna miss those. Not in the turret either, so that's gonna be yeah, not great, but I guess not tragic either. Now, in terms of ground, Russia doesn't really get access to anything in the tech tree. They do get a premium, but for me it's invisible, presumably because it isn't done yet. It's the T80U E1. You can just imagine it as a T80U. That's it. I don't think there's really going to be any severe difference between the two, in terms of gameplay at least. So yeah, just think of it just as another T80 that is in the Russian tech tree. I guess they're kind of pulling a M1A1 KV, or M1 KVT, M1A1, what was it called again, USMC or something? Clickbait type of thing, where they add a 10.3 and then add an 11.3. Similar story here. They added the T80UD last update, and now they're going to add the T80U E1 to, I guess, have a premium here and an even higher battle rating. Is it necessary? I don't know. I guess they got to make their money somehow. So yeah, just adding another T80 is of course very, very easy. Now, Britain, this update so far only gets access to the Desert Warrior. This thing here, it's at 10.0, just like the Bradley in the American tree, and it really is just a British Bradley. It has access to the same gun. In fact, that turret looks almost identical, though that's probably just my eyes. And it has a, so far, total of 4 tow launchers, where you can bring tow 2s, you can bring tow 2Bs or tow 2As, which is pretty cool. Sadly, you only get 4 of them though, so yeah, that's not exactly optimal. As far as I know, the Bradley has more. If we can go quickly check that out right here, we can see that the Bradley, yeah, no, it has 12, so that's quite a big change. But actually in this tank, I just want to quickly check, because it may not have that deploying animation. It does also have the APFSDS, but yeah, maybe, oh, we can actually fire on the move. Okay, so that's even cooler actually, because as far as I know, in the Bradley you can't really do that. Of course, it's a bit hard to aim, but it does work. So that is really nice. Does it have tracking? No, it doesn't, so you can't really lock onto any planes with this thing, sadly. So I guess you do win some, but you also lose some as well. Now, China, this update so far gets access to the ZSL92. This thing here is, although it very much looks like a BTR, is definitely not one. This thing is more geared towards anti-air. This thing has one 25mm cannon right here and some machine gun hidden. Where is it actually? I don't know, but it has a machine gun somewhere right here actually. And yeah, it's basically just an SPA. If we can take it into a quick test drive radar, it has both AP and HE, although it really doesn't pen that much. As far as I know, the APDS on the BTR has something like 80 something millimeters of penetration. This has definitely a bit less than that. It actually has just about the same penetration as the DM63 on the 20 mils for the XM800. But regardless, I think it's definitely more of an SBA. Has an extremely fast fire rate, and wow, we really just saw through that guy right there. I don't even know what happened to him, but he's dead now, so we don't have to worry about him. Elevation's really strong, actually. Thought it would be worse, but it's actually really good. And as for depression, you actually get a decent amount as well. So yeah, that's really nice. It's a bit tall, but you know what? I think it's definitely very fine, and the muzzle velocity is also really good. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at aiming, so yeah, that's not. And it also takes a very long time to reload. You only get 2 clips here. As far as I know, you can take a full AP belt or like 2 AP belts, but it still takes an extremely long time, as you can see here, to reload it. Now, Italy this update is getting access to the Leopard 2A7 Hungary edition. Yeah, I mean, it really is just a Leopard 2A7. There's nothing really special about it. It doesn't really have any special, yeah, things going on. It just has this 50 cal here, and other than that, it really is just a regular 2A7. So yeah, that is really nothing too different that you can expect from what we have in game already. But I guess it does add to the Italian 11.7 lineup, which yeah, definitely is struggling a bit because it only really has 1 tank there. So overall, a very nice addition. Now, France this update is getting access to the Vextra 105. Now this thing here, it's at 8.7, which is surprisingly low considering that it looks very similar to the Centauro, which I believe is at something like 9 something. Yeah, 9.3. So yeah, that's interesting. Maybe it'll change over the course. No, I don't want to click that. There we go. Over the course of time. But basically, it really is just a French Centauro. It has access to AP FSDS. As far as I know, it is stabilized. So you actually have a stabilizer at this battle rating. And on top of that, it has cool camouflage net here, which you can also remove if you want to. So I guess it's the first tech tree vehicle to be able to do this. I am personally going to keep it on though, because I think it looks really cool. Does it have thermals? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't actually. I'm not sure if it's done then, but in case it isn't, then it may get them later on. But yeah, overall, a very nice vehicle. It can definitely strengthen that 8.7 lineup, which is mostly unstabilized. Now, Sweden's update is getting access to 2 vehicles so far. The USH 204GK, which is basically just a little car with a 20 on top. Nothing too impressive. As far as I know, it actually does have quite a fast fire rate though, so we'll just quickly take it into a test drive rev here, and oh yeah, no, there we go. It is very fast, and also it traverses extremely quickly as well, so that's definitely very nice. Do I know how to aim? Yeah, I do actually. So I do actually manage to set that guy on fire there, and actually saw his wing off. And overall, very good AA. How good is the anti-tank? Not barely. It's at 5.3, and it doesn't really have that much pen, so you're not really going to be doing too much damage. But yeah, overall, a very nice addition. Another tank that Sweden is getting is the CV9035DK, and this thing here is just a Danish CV90. It's got the 35mm Bushmaster 3 on it. This cannon here, we actually kind of already see it in game on the Type 89. It has the same caliber. I think it has a different fire rate though, and it also has like a different reload system. So it's not exactly comparable. This thing here is at 9.0, whereas the yeah, CV9035 will be at 10.0. I guess the main difference between the two is that this thing has an infinite, well not infinite, but it doesn't have to like reload a ready rack. It just has the clip here, and it has like 200 rounds of ammo, or no, it has 234 rounds of ammo. So yeah, you get to use that and also switch between shells as you please. So yeah, that's very nice. It only has access to APDS and HE. This thing here, I don't know why you'd ever use it, maybe as APHE, but I think you're just better off using the APDS on this thing. And yeah, overall, very nice vehicle. I think France will be getting this vehicle as well, either next update or this update, for the Benelux ground tree, which is supposedly postponed for this update. So yeah, we'll probably see it then later in the year. Now, Israel, this update actually gets a really cool vehicle. It's the Namer 30. How do I pronounce that name? I don't know. Everyone's gonna complain if they actually know how to pronounce it. But regardless, this thing here is basically just an Israeli Puma with spikes. So it's at 0.3 battle rating higher, and it gets a total of only 2 spikes actually, so it's actually not even that big of a tactical advantage. You do get this really cool looking turret though, which is very much unmanned. You do have one big clip here. I'm not sure like if you can ammo rack it, you probably can, but it won't damage the crew inside. This thing here, it looks like it can survive a lot of shots, but it can't really. If we go into the protection analysis here, and we take something like the the Merkava Ramsegel, and we just shoot the front plate, I mean it goes straight through. Even at a high angle like this, it will always go through. Hopefully, well, I mean, we'll see if it's already done, but yeah, it won't have insane levels of survivability, even if it looks like if it does. Then again, I think this could be definitely enjoyable for light tank players though, because I mean, it has this unmanned turret. I think the fire rate should be the same as the Puma. We can just go quickly check right now. Does it have AP FSDS? Yes, it does. So yeah, it really is just an Israeli Puma. And yeah, there we go. The fire rate is the same as well. So yeah, you won't really be missing anything there right now. Will that hit him? It will actually. So yeah, you can use those spikes as an AA as well. And it does also have tracking. So you can always become an AA if you want to. Now, arguably one of the biggest changes they've done this update to ground vehicles is added a whole lot of modules to a bunch of different tanks. For example, the 2S38 has gotten a complete rehaul of its interior here. Its autoloader has changed, its shells have changed, and it has a bunch of modules that no other tank really has. I mean, stuff like the IRST or laser warning receiver haven't really been modules before, but I guess that now they'll start rolling it out. Here's also an FCS. If you destroy that, I guess the tank can't fire or something. That'll be really unfortunate. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how this rolls out on live. I'm a bit skeptical of this. I think that it would make the tank a bit too fragile. This doesn't just go for the 2S38 though, because they'll eventually roll this out to every other tank. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I guess the driver here, not only can you not drive when he gets knocked out, but when the controls get knocked out, then you can drive either. So then you also have to sit there and repair, even if your driver is completely fine. So yeah, I mean, a bit mixed. Of course, the 2S38 was a bit, very, I guess, annoying to deal with. But then again, these changes here are going to make all tanks really a whole lot less survivable than they are right now. And without any BR changes or anything, I'm not sure how well that'll fare on the live server once that drops. I guess other tanks that are affected are stuff like the T-series tanks, the T90 here, of course. It's a bit hard to see because of all the armor, but here the autoloader is modeled. So if someone shoots that and it gets destroyed, then you can't reload anymore. So yeah, I guess that's how it is. Other than again, if you shoot here, you're gonna die anyway, so it's a bit, doesn't really matter. But this module back here might be a bit of a problem for this tank. Other than that, the rest of the T-series tanks also get them, or also get this new autoloader here, but I guess it isn't really done right now because it isn't being highlighted by my mouse. I guess there's also, I mean, if you go into the Chinese street, as HDZ99 also has this new autoloader. And as far as I know, there's also some little changes to stuff like the Puma right here, where it gets, also it's FCS and driver controls modeled, as well as the Leopard 2s. As far as I know, they didn't have this power electronics cable here. I don't know what that's gonna do. Hopefully nothing, but yeah, that'll be definitely very frustrating if that singular wire kind of just gets destroyed by spell damage. But well, of course we'll have to see once we're on the live server. Even on the 2A4 cam, you also get this hydraulic pump. Probably has the same exact function because it's wired both to the horizontal drive, where maybe if it's knocked out, it'll slow down your turret or something. Hopefully not make it completely unusable though. That would be rather unfortunate. Of course, it isn't just the USSR tanks that are getting this new autoloader stuff. Of course, the Type 90 here is also getting a bit of a reload on its autoloader here, as well as the Leclercs. If we go check them out right here, you can see that they also have a new autoloader modeled here in the tank, although I guess the driver controls and stuff aren't modeled yet. So that's good, I find. I hope they don't, because that's going to be really annoying depending on how long it takes to repair them. But yeah, I guess this is what the community voted for, so hopefully everyone will be happy. No, I guess after this update, they're also going to change some UI features. For example, now you can kind of minimize all your tech trees right here if you want to do so. You can kind of collapse them all together. And you also have a number here next to it. I'm not sure how it looks before. It definitely seems a bit different than it is right now. I'll try and blend in an image. If I forget, then unfortunate, but it does look a bit fresher. Because they've also added the feature where you can drag tanks now, I kind of have to get used to this. Where I kind of just drag them straight from the tech tree into your crew. It tells you if it costs anything, and if it doesn't, then it'll just allow you to do so. If you do drag it into here, it'll first ask you for a confirmation. I'll press cancel, although it doesn't really matter, I guess. But yeah, you can just kind of throw it in here and you're all good to go. Sadly, you can't rearrange your crew slots. For example, you can't swap crew 5 with crew 2. They're still locked in place. Hopefully they do change that later on. But for now, I guess we can be happy with what we have. Now, what they're also going to be doing this update is changing the layout and terrain of some maps. For Sands of Sinai, as you can see right here, that hill that was once here is most definitely gone. I mean, there really is no trace of it. You can't even go up here anymore. So yeah, this spot seems to be gone for good. I guess this hill over here does still exist though, which is the good thing. And as for right over here on this spawn, this is also now gone. You'll probably see a before image somewhere on the screen right now, and yeah, no, it really is just straight gone. They just replaced it with a bunch of rocks here. You can't go up here anymore. I mean, you couldn't before anyway, but now it's really completely blocked off. So yeah, it's, I don't know, a bit unfortunate. I find that kind of like to have you know, some sniping spots because it means a lot of people grouped up and they were easy to bomb. But yeah, I guess I won't be able to do that anymore. Now, another change they've made is they've kind of reworked the Central Park area here on Rhine, where they've removed a lot of these solid objects. I think there was one like right here. You'll see a before image like right about now actually. And as you can see, there was something right here and it's gone now. There's also probably a couple other different changes. I'll list them on the screen, and if I forget, then too bad. But yeah, I guess another change they've also made is on Sweden. They've changed the concrete barriers to actually not be just a roadblock, instead that you can actually drive through them. I'll throw some images here on the screen for you guys. But yeah, these were kind of always an annoyance for me. You know, there's no point of a gap in the building there if you can not drive through there, but now you can. So that's wonderful. All right, now as for Middle East, here you can probably see the before image right now, the after image right now. And yeah, I mean, the hill here is pretty much gone. They've also added a very large rock right here. And it's actually still pretty decently strong position because you can still snipe sort of into the sea point. I guess it isn't as elevated as it once was. So it isn't as powerful. So you know, that's actually kind of a good change actually, because now you can't really snipe too much, although it's actually still decently strong. Although I guess you have to expose yourself a bit more over here if you want to snipe into the B point area. Overall, this is a pretty nice change though. Now, another change they've made is to the Big Tunisia, or Sands of Tunisia, how I like to call it, where it was basically just one big map with one big hill in the middle. And you can do quite a lot of sniping, but it was a bit annoying because some parts of the river you couldn't cross and stuff. Now they've changed it. In fact, they've given it a completely new map here. It looks a bit low res though, so maybe it's still in development. But regardless, I think they've changed this entire middle area here. And in fact, I think I'm just going to go check it out right now. Never mind, it looks like I am not checking anything out today. So we're gonna have to X out of that and instead just preview it from the map here. They've changed something on that map. I'll blend in an image of yeah, what has changed. Later on, I'll probably just do something in the middle here. But oh yeah, hopefully I was able to show you guys that in the end. Alright, now that does it for the dev server ground vehicle and ground changes for now. Of course, over the course of the dev server, they may add the 1 or 2 vehicle, but yeah, that should be the more important ones as of now. Of course, this update is more focused on air. I mean, all the new missiles here, stuff like the R-77 or the mica or the AIM-120 and stuff are probably more important for a lot of other people. But yeah, you just hear just a small little ground overview that you can get in the vast sea of ARH hell. Anyway, hopefully you have enjoyed this video here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. In fact, we're probably going to be streaming tomorrow actually, so if you want to come join, hopefully by then they've also fixed the dev servers because they're having a bit of a problem right now. But yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.